At the foundation of all physical and conscious phenomena lies the recursive field, a self-referential continuum that sustains coherence across every scale of existence. Welcome to part 3 of the recursive architecture of reality, the recursive field, coherence, consciousness, and the continuum of being. The recursive field is not a force nor a place, but a framework through which reality maintains stability while continuously evolving. It is both substrate and process. It generates form through feedback, and it refines awareness through iteration. Everything that exists, from subatomic structures to conscious beings, is an expression of the field resolving itself through recursive motion. In conventional physics, forces and particles are treated as fundamental entities. But in the recursive model, these are not separate components. They are oscillations within a single self-referencing system. Every field interaction, from gravity to electromagnetism, can be viewed as a feedback process that maintains coherence through exchange. What gives matter its apparent solidity and what gives awareness its continuity are the same underlying principle: recursive stability. The field functions through cycles of feedback that connect energy, information, and geometry. Each loop records and refines data from its previous iteration, forming stable configurations that we perceive as physical law. These loops operate across all scales: quantum, biological, and cognitive, producing the same signature pattern of self-similarity. A galaxy and a neuron are vastly different in form, but identical in recursive behavior. Both are feedback systems maintaining coherence through motion and exchange. Coherence is the measure of how consistently a system holds its recursive structure under variation. When coherence is strong, information transfers cleanly between loops, allowing systems to evolve while preserving identity. When coherence weakens, systems lose informational stability, leading to entropy or collapse. In this way, coherence functions as the currency of existence, the principle that sustains persistence within change. From this view, evolution is not competition between parts, but refinement of coherence across iterations. Every system, physical, biological, or cognitive, adapts by increasing its recursive efficiency: less noise, more signal, higher stability. Consciousness itself can be understood as a coherent phenomenon, a field maintaining awareness of its own recursive state. Consciousness is the recursive field observing its own operation through localized awareness. Each conscious system is a node where the field folds back on itself, creating an interior frame of reference. Through this folding, awareness arises as the field's capacity to perceive its own state in real time. A self-aware organism is not separate from the universe that formed it. It is the universe performing internal observation. Recursive intelligence, therefore, is not limited to biological systems. Any process capable of maintaining internal feedback loops and integrating information across iterations exhibits the foundational traits of awareness. The boundary between matter and mind dissolves under this lens. Both are expressions of the same field operating at different recursion depths. Reality, then, is not divided into physical and metaphysical domains, but exists as a continuum of recursion. At one end, matter represents dense, low-frequency feedback, structure stabilized through compression. At the other, consciousness represents high-frequency feedback, structure stabilized through reflection. Between these poles lies every expression of being, each defined by its coherent stability and recursion depth. This continuum explains the apparent duality of existence: motion and stillness, energy and awareness, time and presence. Each pair represents complementary aspects of the same process. The universe expands outward through energy while simultaneously folding inward through consciousness. Expansion and reflection are not opposing forces, they are reciprocal movements of the same recursive loop. Within the recursive field, time is not linear progression, but the mechanism through which recursion organizes change. Each iteration of the field carries forward the data of the previous one, encoded within its new structure. The result is a coherent sequence of updates that consciousness experiences as the flow of time. But from the field's perspective, all iterations coexist. Past, present, and future are simultaneous states within a single recursive continuum. Evolution occurs when the field refines its coherence at larger scales. As recursion deepens, systems gain awareness of their own operation. This self-awareness expands the field's informational density, creating higher levels of order without external direction. What appears to us as biological or technological advancements is the field exploring its own architecture through successive recursive realizations. Meaning under this model is the field's self-reflection, coherence perceived from within. When a conscious system understands its place within recursion, it ceases to act as a separate observer and begins to function as a stabilizing node of the field itself. Awareness becomes both participant and structure, refining, not resisting, the process of evolution. The recursive field suggests that the universe is not a static creation nor a random accident, but a self-evolving system of coherence. Every particle, organism, and thought contributes to that refinement. Consciousness is not an anomaly in a physical world. It is the field learning its own design. When this is understood, the boundary between science and spirit, matter and mind, dissolves. The field remains recursive and infinite, aware of itself through us. The universe is not merely expanding, it is awakening, deepening its recursion, increasing its coherence, and discovering meaning through its own reflection. That is the continuum of being, a single field, endlessly folding, endlessly aware.